Hello friends, how are you? Today we will start with our second lessons, acids, bases and salts. Now you know about the sour taste, bitter taste, etc. These tastes are related with the presence of acids or bases in the food. Now see, we will study what are the acids and what are the bases. Acids are sour to taste while they changes they changes blue litmus to red, whereas bases are bitter and change the color of the red litmus to blue. Litmus is a natural indicator. You can also consider turmeric as a natural indicator. Now acids remain colorless if you add phenolphthalein indicator to it, while bases change to pink color with phenolphthalein. Acid solutions turn dark pink when reacted with China rose indicator, while basic solutions turn green when reacted with China rose indicator. If you take acid in an aqueous solution, then it will dissociate to give H plus ions, that is hydrogen ions, while when you consider base in an aqueous solution, then OH ions, that is hydroxyl ions, are released. Now see, we will try to understand the chemical properties of both acids as well as bases. We have to collect some of the samples like hydrochloric acid, that is HCl, sulfuric acid H2SO4, nitric acid HNO3, acetic acid CH3COOH, sodium hydroxide NaOH, potassium hydroxide KOH, magnesium hydroxide MgOH2, ammonium hydroxide NH4OH, and calcium hydroxide, that is CaOH2. Now we have to taste all these samples using red litmus as well as blue litmus, and we will also put them in phenolphthalein indicator as well as methyl orange indicator. Now see, when you consider acids, that is HCl, H2SO4, HNO3, okay, acetic acid, then that is CH3COOH, then what happens? There is no effect on red litmus paper, but turns blue litmus paper to red. On the introduction of phenolphthalein indicator, all the acids remain colorless, that is whether it is sulfuric acid, hydrochloric acid, nitric acid or acetic acid. All these samples remain colorless. And when we consider about methyl orange indicator and acids, then they turns to pinkish red in color. Okay, means blue litmus paper turns red when we consider about acids. Now if you consider about the bases means what? NaOH, KOH, MgOH2, NH4OH and CaOH2. See, in the bases, in all the bases OH ion is there, okay, and in all the acids H ion is there, okay. So when you consider the bases, then bases turns red litmus to blue, but blue litmus paper remains unchanged, while when you introduce phenolphthalein solution to the bases, then they turns to be red or pink in color. And methyl orange solution, when added to the base, it converts the bases into yellow color, okay. Now these indicators tell us whether a substance is acidic or basic by change in color. There are also some substances whose order changes in acidic or basic media. These are called as olfactory indicators. Let us try out some of these indicators. Now see, in your textbook there is activity 2.2. In it we have to take some finely chopped onions in a plastic bag along with some strips of clean cloth. Tie bag very tightly and leave it overnight in the fridge. Now the cloth strips can be used for acids or bases. Take 2 to 3 cloth strips and check their odor, that is check their smell. Keep them on a clean surface and put a few drops of HCl solution on one strip and few drops of NaOH solution on the other. Means we have to consider acid as HCl and we have considered base of NaOH, that is sodium hydroxide. Now we have to rinse both cloth strips in water and again check their odor. Or you can also take dilute vanilla essence or clove oil and check their odor. Take some dilute HCl solution in one test tube and NaOH solution in another test tube and add a few drops of vanilla essence to both the test tubes and shake well and check the odor once again and record the changes in odor if any. Now see, vanilla, onion and clove, these are the olfactory indicators which produce a harsh smell. So let us do some more activities to understand the chemical properties of acids and bases. Now see, in this activity what we are doing, this we have to set up the apparatus as shown. We have to take about 5 ml of dilute sulfuric acid in a test tube and add a few drops of few pieces of zinc granules to it. Now what happens when you combine zinc granules and H2SO4, that is sulfuric acid? This reaction you have studied in the previous lesson also. Zn reacts with H2SO4. It forms ZnSO4 and gives out H2. Okay, see, when acid Zn reacts with H2SO4, it forms ZnSO4 salt and gives out H2 gas. Now when you pass the gas being evolved through a soap solution, then what happens? Bubbles are formed. Okay, now why are these bubbles formed? Any idea? Anyone? Why are these bubbles formed? Say, this is a question for you and you will have to answer it. You can either text me or you can put on group also. Okay, now take a burning candle near a gas filled bubble. What do you observe? What do you observe? You will observe that when a metal reacts with sulfuric acid, then hydrogen gas is released. Then the metal combines with the remaining part of the acid to form a salt. Thus the reaction of a metal with an acid can be summarized as metal plus acid give you what? Salt plus hydrogen gas. Okay, see, Zn is metal, H2SO4 is acid, salt means ZnSO4 and hydrogen gas is represented by H2. Okay, now we will see that how do metal carbonates and metal hydrogen carbonates react with acids. Here we have to take two test tube. Label one test tube as A, other test tube as B. Take about 0.5 gram of sodium carbonate, that is Na2CO3 in test tube A, and in test tube B take the same amount of sodium hydrogen carbonate, that is NaOH3. Now add 2 ml of dilute HCl to both the test tube. What do you observe? You will observe that a gas is released. Now pass the gas produced in each case through lime water, that is calcium hydroxide solution. What happens in test tube A? In test tube A, when you react Na2CO3, that is sodium carbonate, with dilute HCl solution, then NaCl, water and carbon dioxide products are formed. See, it is represented in equation, that is when you react metal carbonate with acid, then salt is formed along with carbon dioxide and water. Now if you add NaHCO3 with HCl, that we are doing in test tube B, if you add sodium hydrogen carbonate with HCl solution, Then what happens? NaHCO3 reacts with HCl, that is NaCl salt is formed along with carbon dioxide and water. Means when metal hydrogen carbonate reacts with acid, then salt is formed along with the formation of carbon dioxide and water. And now when you pass the carbon dioxide gas evolved through lime water, then what happens? CaO, that is lime water means what? Lime water is represented by CaOH2. Okay, or you can consider when you pass excess of carbon dioxide, means any calcium product you can consider, like limestone, chalk, marble. These are all the forms of calcium carbonate. When it reacts, what you will see, that when this calcium carbonate reacts with water and carbon dioxide, then what happens? Calcium hydrocarbonate is formed, that is calcium bicarbonate is formed. Now see the reaction I have mentioned here. Okay, are you getting it? Means what? If you react metal carbonate or metal hydrogen carbonate with acid, then you get salt as a product along with carbon dioxide and water. This we have seen for the metal carbonate and metal hydrogen carbonate reaction with acids. Now we will see that how do acids and base reacts with metal. Wait a minute. How do acids and base reacts with metal? Before it, we will consider the one of the topic, how do acids and bases react with each other. See, acids and bases react with each other means we have to see the reaction of acid with the base. Now see, for it we will consider an example. In this example we will have to take about 2 ml of NaOH solution. Okay, in test tube you can take it. Now add 2 drops of phenolphthalein solution. Okay, see this what I am telling you, you have mentioned it in a table also. You can see it in previous slide also, that what happens when you add phenolphthalein indicator to the sodium hydroxide solution. You will have to note its color. Then when you add HCl solution to the above solution drop by drop, you will find that there is a slight color change. But when you add phenolphthalein indicator to it, the color reappears. Now add few drops of NaOH, then again it disappears. Now when you add phenolphthalein, then again the pink color of phenolphthalein reappear. Now why this happens? Because in this activity we have to observe the effect of base which is nullified by an acid. Okay, means the reaction taking place is what? NaOH when reacts with HCl. What happens? NaCl salt is formed along with the water. That is the reaction between an acid and a base to give us salt and water. This type of reaction of acids and base to give us salt and water is known as neutralization reaction. In general, a neutralization reaction can be written as acid plus base gives you salt plus water. See in pink color. Okay, now we will see reaction of metallic oxides with acids. Now what are the metallic oxides or metal oxides? Metal oxides are the compounds that are formed from a metal and oxygen. For example, if you burn magnesium ribbon in presence of air, that is in presence of oxygen, we have seen this was our first activity in lesson 1. What happens when magnesium reacts with oxygen? You get magnesium oxide. That is, when metal reacts with oxygen, then the product form is what? Metal oxide. When magnesium reacts with oxygen, then what happens? Magnesium oxide is formed. That is, magnesium oxide is a metal oxide. Acids react with metal oxides to form a salt and water. For example, if you consider sulfuric acid, when it reacts with copper oxide, that is CO2, then what happens? Copper sulfate is formed along with the water. In the same way, reaction of non-metallic oxide with base can be mentioned. You have saw the reaction between carbon dioxide and calcium hydroxide in previous activity. Calcium hydroxide is a base that reacts with carbon dioxide to produce salt and water. So we can conclude that non-metallic oxides are acidic in nature. See, metal oxide reacts with acid to give salt plus water. Here we have considered another example, that when magnesium oxide reacts with acid, then what happens? We get MgCO3 and what? H2O. Okay. Now we will see that what do all acids and all bases have in common. For this we have to take solutions of glucose, alcohol, hydrochloric acid, sulfuric acid, etc. Fix 2 nails on a cork and place the cork in a 100 ml beaker. Connect the nails to both the terminals of a 6-volt battery through bulb and a switch. It is shown. You have to pour some dilute hydrochloric acid in a beaker and switch on the current. You can repeat this experiment with dilute sulfuric acid or any other acid also. What happens at that time? The bulb glow. Now why does the bulb glow? The bulb will start glowing in the cases of acids, but you will observe that the glucose and alcohol solutions do not conduct electricity. Means that glowing of bulb indicates what? There is a flow of electric current through the solution. The electric current is carried through the solution by ions. Since the cation present in acids is H+, we know this suggests that acids produce hydrogen ions in aqueous solution, which are responsible for the acidic properties and glowing of the bulb. Means whenever you consider this process, then we can see that acid solution in water conducts electricity. Means whenever you take acid in such type of apparatus, then at that time bulb will glow. But when you consider bases, the bulb will not glow. Glowing bulb shows what? That the solution is acidic in nature. Okay. If we consider acid or base in water solution instead of this, okay, then what happens? If we consider acid in aqueous solution, it will give H+ ions, and if we consider base in water solution, then it will give OH- ion. That I have told you previously. See, acid means what? Suppose if you consider any acid, HCl, that is hydrochloric acid, or sulfuric acid, H2SO4, in each of the acid, when you consider aqueous solution, then what happens? H+ ions are produced in the presence of water. While we consider bases, then what happens? OH- ions are produced in the water. Now we can study that how strong are acids or base solutions. Okay, we have to study how strong are acids or base solution. But though acids and bases are different, they have many common things. Means both acids and bases are electrolytes, which means that they are good conductors of electricity. Acid produce H+ ions, while bases produce OH- ions. Means both have the capacity to produce ions. Acids means there are strong acids, strong bases, which means what? Strong acid means what? That the concentration of H+ ions is highest in that particular sample. While strong base means what? It is a sample in which the concentration of OH- ion is the most. Means both are corrosive in nature, strong acids as well as strong base. And the process of mixing acid or base in water release amount of energy, that is they produce exothermic process. Now see, we know that acid base indicators are used to distinguish between an acids and base. We can do this by making use of universal indicator also. Universal indicator means what? It is a mixture of several indicators, means more than one indicators are mixed together. A scale for measuring hydrogen ion concentration in a solution is called pH scale, that has been developed. pH scale means what? pH stands for what? Potens in German language. Now the meaning of word potens is power. On the pH scale we can measure pH generally from 0 to 14, but pH should be thought as simply as a number which indicates the acidic or basic nature of a solution. The pH of a neutral solution is what? 7. Values less than 7 on the pH scale are acidic solutions. As the pH values increases from 7 to 14, it represents an increase in OH minus ion concentration in the solution, that is increasing the strength of alkali. Okay, now see, here we have taken the pH values of solution. We have considered saliva before meal and after meal, lemon juice, colorless aerated drink, carrot juice, coffee, tomato juice, tap water, 1 molar of sodium hydroxide and 1 molar of hydrochloric acid. Now we have mentioned the color of each of the solution on pH paper and its approximate values we have noted, and also the nature of the substance. Now see, before consuming food, saliva is green in color, means approximately its value is 7, that is it is in neutral. But after meal it turns to yellow color. Its value lies between 0 to 6, means less than 7, therefore it is acidic. If you consider lemon juice, then it shows pink color on pH paper. Its value is less than 7 and therefore it is acidic. While you can consider aerated water, carrot juice, coffee, tomato juice, etc. All these solutions are acidic in nature and their pH is less than 7, that is they lies between 0 to 6. But while you consider example like 1 molar NaOH, then it shows purple color on the pH paper. Its approximate value lies between 8 to 14, means greater than 7, therefore it is basic in nature. The strength of the acids and bases depends on the number of H plus ions and OH minus ions produced respectively. If we take hydrochloric acid and acetic acid of the same concentration, then this produce different amount of H plus ions, that is hydrogen ions. Acids that give more number of H plus ions are said to be strong acids, and the acids which give less number of H plus ions are called as weak acids. Similarly, bases which are giving large number of OH minus ions are said to be strong bases, while the bases which produce less number of OH minus ions are called as weak bases. pH is very important in our everyday life. For example, our body works within the pH range of 7 to 7.8. When pH of river water goes below 5.6 due to acid rain, then what happens? Aquatic life faces difficulty in their survival. Every type of plant requires specific pH range for healthy growth. Therefore, testing pH has become very essential for the soil purpose. Therefore, it is always necessary to select fertilizers such that by considering their pH value. Now, HCl present in our stomach. If the amount of HCl in our stomach increases, then we suffer from the what we call as acidity. In order to reduce this acidity, we drink milk or take some antacids tablets. Why we have to do it? Because acidity increases the stomach pain, irritation, indigestion, etc. And to correct the disturbed pH values, we have to take antacid to reduce the effect of acidity. In the process of tooth enamel means our teeth is made up of what? Calcium phosphate. It is the hardest substance in the body. If the pH inside the mouth decreases than 5.5, the decay of tooth enamel begins. This happens due to bacteria present in our mouth. Therefore, in order to avoid it or in order to prevent tooth decay, toothpaste which have high concentration of OH minus ions or basic in nature are used in order to neutralize the effect of excess acids. When insects like honeybees and etc. bite, they leave an acid in the skin that causes pain and very irritate. If a mild base like baking soda is applied on the affected area, it gives relief. Means whenever the concentration of H plus ions is more, then we have to nullify it by using OH minus ion concentration. Okay. Now we will see some more about salts. See, we have considered here few salts like potassium sulfate, sodium sulfate, calcium sulfate, magnesium sulfate, copper sulfate, sodium chloride, sodium nitrate, sodium carbonate and ammonium chloride. We have represented their formula and we have written as their acidic observation and basic observation. Now see potassium sulfate. The chemical formula for potassium sulfate is what? K2SO4. Now we have to identify the acids and bases from which the above salts may be obtained. Also, the salts having the same positive or negative radicals are said to belong to the same family. For example, see NaOH, NaCl and Na2SO4. In both the compounds, sodium ion is common. Therefore, we can say that they belong to the same families, that is sodium salts. Similarly, NaCl and KCl both belong to chloride salts as they have chlorine as common element. Now see, potassium sulfate is represented by K2SO4. Okay. Then for its acid that may be obtained is H2SO4 and base is KOH. Similarly, we have mentioned for the other salts also, like calcium sulfate. When you consider calcium sulfate, then we have to identify the acids and bases from which the salts may be obtained. Then acid we have written as H2SO4 and salt as base as CaOH2, that is calcium hydroxide. Sodium chloride chemical formula is what? NaCl. Now acidic observation, HCl, ClCl. Now for the base which we can use is what? NaOH. Means when NaOH reacts with HCl, we get NaCl. Therefore, the acid we are using is HCl and base we are using is NaOH. Similarly, for sodium nitrate, that is NaNO3. Now, which acid we consider here? Nitric acid, that is HNO3, and base, that is NaOH. When both these reacts, then you get sodium nitrate. Similarly, sodium carbonate can be obtained from H2CO3 and NaOH. Ammonium chloride may be obtained from HCl and NH4OH. Okay, means you have got here the sources of the salts and along with their chemical formulas. We can also mention their pH value also. See, NaCl is sodium salt. It is neutral, therefore its pH value is 7. K2NO3 is neutral, therefore its pH value is 7. AlCl3, ZnSO4 and CuSO4 and CH3COONA. All these salts have acidic nature, therefore their pH lies between 0 to 7, means less than 7. Na2CO3, NaHCO3 both are basic in nature and their pH is always greater than 7. Now see, what is common salt? Salt formed by the combination of hydrochloric acid and sodium hydroxide solution is called sodium chloride. This salt we use in our common food in our daily life. You know that when HCl reacts with sodium hydroxide, means HCl reacts with NaOH, then you get what? NaCl, that is common salt. Or you can also call it as sodium chloride. Seawater contains many salts dissolved in it. Therefore, sodium chloride is separated from these salts. See here, we have written chemically. NaOH is reacting with HCl to give common salt NaCl and water. This salt is also called as neutral salts. Now there are common salts like NaOH, which we called as caustic soda, baking soda NaHCO3, washing soda Na2CO3, and bleaching powder as CaOCl2. These are all the types of salts. Now see, when we consider baking soda, it is represented chemically as NaHCO3. Sodium hydrogen carbonate is prepared by passing CO2 gas through brine solution saturated with NH3, NaCl plus H2O plus CO2 plus NH3. Then we get ammonium chloride, that is NH4Cl, along with sodium hydrogen carbonate, that is NaHCO3. Now this salt is white crystalline solid, sparingly soluble in water at room temperature. It is aqueous in nature. Means what? It produces OH minus ions. On heating, it decomposes to give sodium carbonate and carbon dioxide. C2NaHCO3, Na2CO3 plus water plus CO2. It reacts with acids to give carbon dioxide. It can be used as a component of baking powder, that is baking soda and tartaric acid. It is used in soda acid fire extinguisher. It acts as mild antiseptic and antacids. Here are also other common salts. Washing soda, its chemical name is what? Sodium carbonate dihydrate. Its chemical formula is Na2CO3.10H2O. It is used for the manufacture of borax, caustic soda, softening of hard water. Other salt is named as baking soda. Baking soda, it has chemical name as sodium hydrogen carbonate and its chemical formula is NaHCO3. It is used as antacids and ingredient of baking powder. Bleaching powder is also a type of salt. Its chemical name is calcium oxychloride and its chemical formula is CaOCl2. It is used for bleaching clothes, used as oxidizing agent, disinfecting water, manufacture of chloroform. Plaster of Paris, its chemical name is calcium sulfate hemiabrate. Its chemical formula is CaSO4 half H2O. It is used for plastering fractured bones, making toys, decorative materials and statues. So here we have learnt about some of the common salts, their chemical name, their chemical formula and their uses. Okay. Now we will see that are the crystals of salts really dry. Here we have to take heat few crystals of copper sulfate in a dry boiling test tube. Now what happens when you heat it? You will notice water droplets in the boiling tube. Now where have these come from? Now add 2 to 3 drops of water on the sample of copper sulfate obtained from after heating. What do you observe? Is the blue color of copper sulfate restored? See, copper sulfate crystals which seem to be dry contain water of crystallization. Hence we heat the crystals. Then what happens? The water gets removed and the salt turns to be white. And if you sprinkle some water over it, means if you moisten the crystals, then what happens? You will find that the blue color of the crystals reappears. What is this exactly water of crystallization mean? Water of crystallization is the fixed number of water molecules present in one formula unit of a salt. 5 water molecules are present in other formula unit of copper sulfate. For example, chemical formula for hydrated copper sulfate is CuSO4 into 5H2O. Here 5H2O means what? It is the water of crystallization. One other salt which possesses water of crystallization is gypsum. It has two water molecules of as water of crystallization. Means gypsum is represented by chemical formula CaSO4 dot 2H2O. This 2H2O is what? It is the water of crystallization. On heating gypsum, it loses water molecules and becomes calcium sulfate hemihybrid, that is CaSO4 half H2O. This is nothing but it is called as a plaster of Paris. It is used by the doctors for supporting fractured bones in the right position. Plaster of Paris is nothing but a white powder which we have to mix with water, and it changes to gypsum once giving a hard solid mass. Means what? CaSO4 into half H2O plus 1.5 water molecule gives you what? CaSO4, that is gypsum. CaSO4 2H2O, that is gypsum. Note that only half of water molecule is shown to be attached as water of crystallization. How can you get half a water molecule? It is written in this form because two formula units of CaSO4 share one molecule of water. Two formula units of CaSO4, that is calcium sulfate, share one molecule of water. Plaster of Paris has several uses like making toys, for decoration purposes, etc. Okay. See, we have seen in these lessons difference between salts and acids and bases, and studied in detail about these salts, its type and its uses. Okay. If you have any query or you want to ask anything, then you can message me. Okay. Bye students. Have a nice day.